My name is Judy Durst, and I'm the Director of Education for the Big I of New Hampshire. I've been in the insurance business about 45 years, and I've been teaching insurance for many years.
Well, my name's Katie. I'm from the New Hampshire Association of Insurance Agents.
And we're so glad that you could join us today.
Today we're going to be talking about some personal line topics. Judy, what are the topics that we're going to be discussing today?
Well, I think that there's quite a few people that have a problem distinguishing between when to use a BOP versus a dwelling policy when it comes to rental property. And so I think we need to delve into that a little bit more. Obviously, we won't be able to do that today, but it is a topic that I think everyone should know a little bit more about. Also, car rentals. Every time someone rents a car, they think in the back of their head, I have insurance. And yeah, you've got auto insurance. But there's some problems there. And so that's another topic that I think needs to be discussed again and on a regular basis because people don't remember.
Right. Now, I'm newer to the industry, and I know that we have some young agents listening in and those who are starting to get into it. What is a BOP? You've mentioned that, and I guess I just don't know what that means.
Okay. A BOP stands for Business Owner's Policy.
Okay.
Basically, commercial's confusing, and the small to medium-sized risks really don't even know what to buy. And so the industry many years ago in the 60s came up with the first bundle, which was the homeowner's policy. And it was property and casualty added together. And at that time, that was a novel idea. In the 80s, the business community, especially the small business community, said, you know, why can't you do something for us like you did for the homeowners? Give us most of the coverages that we need and make it an affordable price. And, you know, that gives us an incentive to have the coverages that will help us if we ever have a loss, rather than asking us to make all these answer all these questions and make all these determinations and add up the cost. And oh my word. So we came up with the BOP, and the BOP has been very popular. It's expanded over the years, but it was designed to be a bundle of coverages that the average small to medium-sized business needs and doesn't know it.
Okay. So why is it important to know the difference between a BOP and a dwelling form?
Well, when the BOP was developed, it was developed to insure commercial risks. Some of the eligibility requirements for the BOP have changed over the years, and some carriers are allowing 1 to 4 family dwellings to be put on a BOP if they are rented to others. And it sounds good in theory because it gives property and liability. But if you are a personal lines type of person, then you're not real familiar with the BOP. And so you really don't know what's different between using the dwelling fire program versus using a BOP program. And there are problems, there are differences. For example, the vacancy clause is very different in personal lines dwelling versus the commercial lines BOP. And so if you need to bring those things to the insured's attention, but if you don't even know it yourself, then how are you going to do it?
Huh. Good points. Now, the other topic that you mentioned was car rentals, which is kind of funny because we're actually picking up our rental today. So I'll be really interested to hear what you have to say on this.
Okay.
Car rentals are covered by personal auto insurances, aren't they? We both have personal auto insurance,
Sure.
So
yeah,
wouldn't
but
that be covered?
They don't cover everything.
Oh.
Remember that when you sign a rental contract, you are signing that you are going to be responsible for this, 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 and this. and your insurance company has a standard personal auto policy that may not cover all of those items. I can give you one example, and that is our auto policies are written on what we call actual cash value basis, which means we're going to depreciate a vehicle because vehicles do depreciate. The minute you take them off the lot, they depreciate. Some rental contracts indicate that they want it replaced. So they want replacement cost. And in some rental contracts, they might even give a figure of what you need to pay them. So let's say that you get a souped up car because you're on vacation and you want, you want something really nice. And so you get a souped up car and it has a, a book value of, let's say, 40 grand. And or even more, 40 grand, I guess, is an average car now, Judy. But let's say it's 60 grand. And you get the car, you get inside and into the car rental place, and they tell you that here's what you're going to get, and you got so many miles, and you got this and all that. Do you have auto insurance?
Yes.
And you're going to say, yes, I have auto insurance. And they're going to say, great, then you don't need the waiver, but you do, because that 60,000 that's in that contract is not what your carrier is going to pay. If the vehicle has mileage on it, we never pay the full book value of the full replacement value on a vehicle. Some carriers are allowing that, but not on rental cars. And so what happens to you if you rent one of these $60,000 cars, you get into an accident, and your insurance company says ACV on that vehicle is 40,000.
We still owe 20,000.
Then your credit card will be charged for 20,000. Okay?
That's nuts.
It's not good.
No.
And so if you had bought their collision deductible waiver, in some states it's cheap, other states it's not. But to me, it's like getting peace of mind. So that if something happens, you can turn the keys over to them and it's their problem, not yours. And so you will not get a bill for what your carrier won't pay. And that's just one of the things. There are actually 10 different things that can go wrong between the contract that you signed to rent the car and the actual insurance policy you purchased. And so, and if you're in another state and you're not using ISO forms, it could be even worse. So yeah, it's something that you really need to recommend to your clients, that they purchase it. They may not want to, and that's their prerogative, but you should recommend it. So when somebody says to you, hey, my auto policy covers a rental car, right? Yes and no. Yes, it covers you for what your policy covers, but it may not provide all of the coverages that you have contractually signed on for.
That's an issue.
A very big issue.
Yes. I was looking at some credit cards, and they cover what you were talking about earlier with the car rentals.
Well, as an insurance agent, we can only comment on the products that we sell. And so if your client says to you, hey, could you look at this brochure I received from my credit card company, and is this giving me everything that I would need? Don't do it. Because first of all, they're only giving you a brochure, and it's not your job to critique the credit card coverage. We would recommend that you contact the credit card customer service division and ask them for actual copies of what is covered and what is not. Ask the questions of them. They are the only one that can interpret their coverage. So it can be confusing because many times what they're telling you as coverage is woefully inadequate for what you're going to need. It may be something they throw in. Some credit card companies are taking that out. So you might have an old brochure, and your insurance agent shouldn't be a lawyer. We shouldn't be acting in a legal capacity and recommending and talking to people about their credit card coverages when we're not selling those coverages.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So where can I find more information about these two important topics that I didn't even know were issues before?
Well, and that's why we're going to be doing them at our annual convention. There's going to be a 2-hour program, and it's entitled Timely Personal Lines Issues, which is what these things are. These are things that the agency needs to get a good grip on so that they can advise their client appropriately and not overstep their bounds, not promise something that they can't deliver.
Okay. How long will these classes be available? Will they only be available live?
No, the programs are going to be recorded, and so they'll be available at our annual convention, which is virtual for the first time. And it's going to, and it's really exciting. I really like the idea of doing virtual. What we're going to do is have it available in its time slot, and then we could also be having it available after the convention or again during the convention, so that people can, many people in your offices can view it. It's approved for 2 continuing education hours in New Hampshire as well as in Maine.
Well, thank you again, Judy, for telling us all about these topics in personal lines. I can't wait to learn. Yeah.
What we need to say, though, is that they can sign up for our annual meeting. They can sign up on our website.
Yeah, you're right.
So go to our website, www.nhaia.com, and look for the banner for our annual convention and click on it, and you can get right in. And it is very, very reasonably priced.
Oh yeah, it definitely is, especially for individuals, and we also have pricing for agencies and smaller agencies too. So you don't have to worry about if you're only an agency of 2 or 3 people. So.
And people can be, we have a lot of different options available, so you can pick and choose what you want. A total for the whole convention of about 15 continuing education hours. So
yeah,
not bad.
No, not at all. You can get all of your continuing ed in one convention.
Well, you get about half of it, and it includes ethics.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so you can get half of it in that 2-day period. So not bad.
Well, thank you, Judy, for that. And I really want to thank Liberty Mutual Safeco for sponsoring not only these podcasts, but also our virtual convention. Again, like Judy said, you can find that on our website at nhaia.com. And you can sign up now until September 27th. And the convention's on the 28th and 29th, and we cannot wait to see you there. Thank you.